For today's story time, we're going to be reading Moon Bear's Shadow. It's by Frank Ash. Yeah, well, we're reading it again today because I've got some questions to ask at the end, and I want to remind you of the story.
So that means you need to be listening.
Yeah, because I'm going to ask questions. One day, Bear went down to the pond with his fishing pole and a big can of worms. While he was putting a worm on his hook, he looked down and saw a big fish. I'm going to catch that fish, thought Bear to himself. But when Bear stood up to throw his line in the water, his shadow scared the big fish away. "Go away, Shadow," cried Bear. But Bear's shadow would not go away. "Okay," said Bear, "if you won't go on your own, then I'll just have to get rid of you." And he put down his fishing pole and began to run. He ran around the pond, and when he got to the other side, he kept on running. Yeah.
He lost his son. He
Yeah.
lost it.
He ran through a field of flowers, jumped over the brook, and hid behind a tree. "Good," thought Bear. "Now Shadow can't find me." So see, he's hiding behind the tree, trying to hide from his shadow.
Yes, you can hide. His wrist and he don't know that.
But Bear was wrong. When he stepped out from behind the tree, the first thing he saw was Shadow. Nearby was a cliff. Bear walked over to the cliff and looked up. "I'll climb so high, Shadow won't be able to follow me," thought Bear.
He's not with a good dog. He's trying to climb up there and something his shadow's right there.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of his shadow though.
But he can't.
Bear climbed higher and higher until at last he pulled himself up to the top. Huffing and puffing, he smiled with pride. Then he looked down and saw Shadow. Again. Now Bear was very annoyed, so he went home and got a hammer and some nails to nail his shadow to the ground.
There's a pink.
He hammered and hammered and hammered, but no matter how many nails he hammered, he couldn't nail his shadow down.
The shadows are kind of like ghosts, but shadow from. And he got a paint.
Yeah, so you can't nail down the shadow because it's still going to move.
But he was because it has the possibility to move too fast. He got a paint, and he's just putting nails in the ground.
Yeah. If I can't nail him down, thought Bear, maybe I can bury him. So he got his shovel and dug a hole. When the hole was deep and wide, he let his shadow fall in the hole. Then Bear filled in the hole with dirt. When he was finished, it was almost noon. The sun was high in the sky and Shadow was nowhere to be seen. At last, sighed Bear, no more shadow. So did he really bury his shadow?
No.
No. What really happened?
The sun moved in the middle of his head.
Yep, so it's noon, so the sun is straight up, so there's no shadow.
No, he's behind him.
But now, Bear was very tired. So he went inside and took a little nap.
Oh, cut it out.
While he slept, time passed, and the sun once again cast shadows everywhere. So Bear has napped, and the sun has now moved. So is the shadow going to be back if he goes outside?
Yeah.
When Bear got up and opened his door, he saw his shadow on the floor. "Not you again," exclaimed Bear, and he slammed the door, hoping to lock Shadow inside. But Shadow was too quick.
He was being mean to his shadow. Then he started to be nice. But he was being mean to his shadow.
Yep, he's being mean to his own shadow.
That's him. He's being mean on him.
Yep.
Because that's his secret shadow.
Sighed Bear. How about this? me catch a fish, I'll let you catch one too. Nod your head like this if it's a deal. When Bear nodded his head, Shadow nodded too.
No, he made it not.
Yeah, he did, because it does whatever he does.
That's
So-
the coffee.
Yeah. So Bear went back to the pond and once again threw his line in the water. By this time, the sun was in a different part of the sky, which made it easy for Shadow to keep his part of the deal. So see, the sun's over here, so Shadow is over here, not in the water this time. And when Bear caught that big fish, Shadow caught one too.
That's his. That's
Yeah.
his. The
Okay,
fish
so-
fish has also a shadow.
Yep, the fish also had a shadow. All right, so I'm gonna ask some questions because sometimes when we read stories, we read about characters that face problems that they have to solve. So just like in this story, there's a problem that had to be solved. What a character wants to do, needs to do, finds out, or wants to change is called the problem in the story. So as we read, we discover the steps the characters take to solve the problem. How the problem is solved is called a solution.
What is your solution?
A solution is when you solve the problem. It's your solution. So Bear wanted to catch a big fish, but what was the problem? Can anyone tell
The
me?
shadow. The shadow was blocking the fish, so the fish
Rachel?
got scared. The shadow is broken down. The sun was in a different way. Right over there, so the shadow blocked the fish. So the fish got scared.
Yep, the fish got scared because the shadow was cast on the water, so the fish got scared of it.
Yeah.
So what does Bear do to try to solve that problem?
Bury it.
He tries to bury it. Okay, what happened when he buried it? Did it work?
No.
Okay, what else did he try?
And then the sun climbing up and letting him down.
Okay, well, let me hear what Ariana has to say. She has her hand raised.
The sun went up
Okay,
and then the shadow is not anymore.
okay, yeah.
The up is going out of space.
So Ethan, what was something else that Bear tried to do to solve his problem? Wait, I'm asking Ethan. What did Bear do to try and get rid of his shadow? What did you just say? Yeah, he tried to run. He ran around the pond to try and run away from his shadow. All right, Amy. His shadow is big, but what did he try to do to get rid of that shadow?
Going behind the tree,
He did go behind a tree. Ethan?
climb.
Yep, he tried to climb. He also tried to nail it down. So he tried several things, but did any of those things work?
No.
No.
I know.
What?
When he was trying to lock him inside the house, the shadow destroyed.
Yeah, he did try and lock him in the house. All right, I'm going to ask Josue, and that's it, okay? So what was yours, Josue? Yep, hiding behind the tree. So now what happened to Bear's shadow when it was new? Ethan?
He didn't see a shadow
He didn't see a shadow? Why?
because it was the middle of his head.
Yep, so at noon, remember the sun is straight up, so we can't see our shadow.
And it was the middle of his head.
Yep.
He has ears right here. That's funny.
All right.
Katie Carrera, come here.
And at the end of this story, how does Bear solve the problem of shadow?
I know.
Wait,
let me ask
You
Ian.
cannot do that anymore.
How does he solve the
Because
problem?
when you do that, look
Bye.
what you did. And this is a brand new
Bye.
marker Miss
Asking him
Lopez
a
just put out
deal.
here.
Asking him a deal? Okay.
I know.
Do you know what
So
the
you
deal was,
cannot do that
Kian?
anymore.
What was it?
Because you're the reason
If
that our
you-
markers are messing up.
The shadow lets him know.
You don't need to color in your name.
You
You just
want
need to
the
write it.
shadow fish
okay?
too.
Thank you.
Okay, but it
Here.
wasn't just
Wipe
a
your
deal.
mouth.
So also, instead of it being just a deal that he made with his shadow, is also that the sun had moved. So his shadow was no longer in the way.
Oh,
Ah.
that made the deal right.
the deal? Yeah, he did make a deal with his shadow.
So the sun do a deal.
Well, the sun didn't make the deal. Bear made a deal with his shadow, but the sun had moved, so that helped Shadow keep his deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
All right. Good job, you guys. Yes. The Frozen movie is cool. Okay.